Hello, everybody. We're here. Really quick, little bit of between the draft pre-week one. I think that's what we're calling this here. The Pokemon Fun League Season 9 Indigo Dreams pre-week one fireside chat, if you will. I'm your former champion, Elizabeth Joe, joined by my other half, the other half of the commission. It's Manny.
Former champion Manny, thank you very much.
As well, yes, of course. Double champs here. Double champing it. We're just going to talk really quick, go over the teams a little bit, just, go give you a little bit of hype going into week one, because quite frankly, Manny, we can get this out of the way right out front. This is the most important week of the season, first of all.
Exactly, Joe. I was just about to say that. It's the most important week of our short season, okay?
A short, just a svelte 12 weeks, and we'll be out of here.
Just a small 3 months around the time.
So before we get into the team cards and things like that, why don't we go over very quickly? It happens every year, without a doubt. We people might be especially rusty this time because it's been a bit longer between seasons than usual too. But there are some rules that you gotta make sure you follow, and we're just gonna reiterate them really quick, for safety's sake.
Because we always have these mess ups. Week one is always just so sloppy.
It won't be as bad as, man, was it? I want to say Tristan and Carmine once had to restart their match like 4 times.
4 different times.
Alright, first things first. We're playing in custom game on Showdown, which does not have the checks and balances of other things. So there's some little tweaks you got to do to make sure. What I like to do is when you're making your team in Showdown, make sure everything's level 50, first of all, because that is where we play. And then make sure you're in OU, and then when you hit validate for OU, and if it only tells you, hey, this Pokemon has to be higher than level 50, you're good. That's how you know.
That's a really good shortcut. Mine's a little longer. I make my 6, and then I go through, and I just go down. There's that first team preview where you can get like a quick summary of all. It's like 3, and then you scroll down, and then 3 more mons.
Right.
I go like I'll take 3 at a time, and I'll just go level, item, ability, moves, EVs, and then next 3. So it's a little bit longer, but it makes me feel.
Yours is a bit safer too, because mine is just making sure it's validated. Mine is not checking. Oh, make sure you got Drizzle on your Politoed. Make sure you brought.
Right. All your little team building notes and things like that. That does the validate button doesn't work for that.
Exactly. So that's another thing. No item repetition. That's a big one. We've never really had that problem, I don't think. So that's a pretty easy one to remember. Mega-ing has always been not necessarily a point of contention, but when you're making an OU team, you can slap, say, Mega Houndoom in there, even though he wasn't drafted or whatever, and he'll start the match as normal Houndoom. That is not the case in custom game. He will start as Mega Houndoom. You gotta make it normal Houndoom holding the Houndoom Mega item.
Yes. You have to input the regular, add the Mega item, and then you'll be granted the Mega in game the way it's supposed to be, as close to cartridge as possible.
Yes. As well, make sure that you're doing your Mega-ing on the first turn that your Mon is out. The first turn that your Mon is using that move, I should say, using Move.
The first turn your Mon is staying in.
Yes,
like you can come in, take a hit, and then or you can come in and they make an aggressive double. You don't have to sit in there and take it because you have to Mega Evolve. You can immediately withdraw. It's that first, if you click an attack move, you must hit Mega first.
Yes, and it varies as well, because I believe there was one time Rob had Mega Venusaur and he didn't Mega and it only hurt him. That's the thing. There are times where it's a case-by-case basis a lot of time, because the Pokemon, when they Mega, most of the time get better, but sometimes their base form have just like one little thing, like say if you got Gardevoir and you trace Flash Fire or something, and then you just don't Mega and you get hit with a Fire move. That's a broken game state right there, and you either have to start over if it's early enough, or you fucking lose. Sorry.
Yeah. We gotta be a little harder on that.
People don't like just automatic disqualification, Manny.
I know, and we try to, because the point of this league is for us to have fun, so we really try not to do that, but like there are just some times where we're just like, come on guys, we're like 15 turns in, Like 3 Pokemon are dead already, but we try our best.
Well, let's get over to the teams then, Manny, because we're going to go right from left to right on the rosters tab, so we can talk about the divisions, kind of as they go here. So, starting things off, let me just hit the fade real quick. Woo! We've got Dan, the champ, the fire guy, the season 7 champ, them crocodile vultures, choosing Scrafty as his showcase mon here on the side, the co-Z captain on there. So let's start with that, Manny. I know that Dan and I had a conversation where it's kind of tough. It was kind of tough to determine Z captains for this team.
Yeah, I don't know where. I mean, there was lots of different variety of that you can go with. I mean, like he Mawile is your mega, can't hold an item.
Right.
Mantine, Donphan, Tangrowth don't really benefit. Do you really want to burn your Z move on a lower tier like Arbok or something like that? Probably not, as I did it with Floatzel. But anyway, that's besides the point. But like Azelf and Guja are coverage monsters, so either one of them would have been a good choice. Emboar could have been sneaky, but like Emboar kind of always needs a scarf.
Yeah, that's where you run into trouble, I think, on most of these choices. I think Scrafty's an interesting choice. It seems like it's going to be... When I had Scrafty, I used it more for defensive purposes, but this seems more like a Dragon Dance, Shedskin Rest kind of... Dan was talking about a lot of those things, which are fun Scrafty sets. And, if you have enough Dragon Dances, you could blow something up. So why not?
True. And we'll get to it in my team card a little bit later because my team is mostly defense. But I was brainstorming, and giving a defensive mon a Z move to give it some power isn't necessarily a bad thing. No. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like the biggest gripe that I have with a lot of defensive mons is because I have 0 offensive presence. So putting a Z move on a guy like Scrafty, who's typically more defensive, and then it gives him the ability to blow up his one counter, that could really be useful. It could blow the game wide open.
Definitely. You've got Frostlass as the main Z captain there. I should say, the team cards aren't completely complete because I was using the old MS Paint Z icons for about the 4th or 5th season in a row, and I was like, I think I should have Rob create new ones, but he's been kind of slow just getting me a blue Z. So we will...
You want me to get on Paint and do that for you? Or?
we will note Z captains where available, but yes, as it stands, and as well, Thomas and Jack don't have the correct icons, but we'll get to that either way. Frostlass is the main Z captain here. I have not really looked into what Frostlass, what kind of special stuff it can do, if this is just, kind of the same deal where if you need a Z Ice Beam to kind of punch through something, you can have it, your Z Shadow Ball, what have you. Like, I don't think Z Spikes does anything special.
Z Spikes! I think it raises the defense or something, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. Which, in a pinch, could be good.
That +1 defense Frostlass coming at you.
You never know! I don't know, man!
I didn't look into Frostlass enough. This is all news to me, so I'll look into it and get back to you.
You mentioned Mega Mawile. That's the cap. That's a layup. Mega Mawile will... you could draft... Mega Mawile could potentially be a 700 club Pokemon. You could draft absolute garbage around it, and it can carry you to at least 3 or 4 victories.
If you're smart about it. I think that... I'm sorry, M1, but I just think that Mawile on your team last year was horrendously misused.
I was going to mention that. No offense to M1. I do believe that Mawile... There were... You got to make sure you choose your moves correctly when you have Mega Mawile, and there were occasional lapses in judgment, and it happens. But that's the thing. You just got to make sure, when you have very low health and you have at least 1 Swords Dance, all you're clicking is Sucker Punch, and that's it.
Yeah. It's going to do a bajillion damage. At level 50, Mawile has what? Like 600, 700 attack?
It's a lot.
Like, Jesus Christ.
You got the defensive boy Tangrowth, who is a staple, who is a monster. You got the Regenerator. My favorite sets of Assault Vest and Regenerator. You don't even need Leech Seed, Synthesis, whatever. Just
fuck it, regenerate.
hit your Giga Drains, hit your knockoffs, your hidden powers. Hidden power ice is of one of my favorite things to put on Tangrowth. That's always fun.
Very true. I don't know if it's just me, Joe. So tell me if it was just me. But did everyone just go bulkier than normal?
Well, I mean, all right. So was that
like the general theme of this draft, or was it just me being hyper aware of it because those were the mods I was specifically targeting for one season out of the 9?
I mean, I feel like when you look at a team where, in my mind, my defensive credo is your physical defender with recovery, your special defender with recovery, and your tank that can dish out damage and also take it very well. This team kind of went in the direction of Tangrowth is your physical defender with recovery. Mantine is your special defender with recovery. But then you've also got Downfan, who's a physical defender, not with recovery, but, rocks and rapid spin and things like that. And Goodra, who's a special defender, again, with no recovery. I mean, Goodra can do more. Both of those mons, Downfan and Goodra, can do more than that, but it feels like it's two defensive cores kind of stacked on top of each other.
His team just seems very slowed down to me. His speed tiers are, you have to watch out for Frostlass's speed tier, and his elf is pretty fast, too. But and is that a prankster user?
Yeah, Volbeat. So
yeah, Volbeat is a prankster user. So I think we're trying to slow it down this season.
I think that definitely on this team, you've got the priority, you've got the prankster, you've got big mons, and I think that this is going to be kind of a lumbering, take a punch and hit you twice as hard kind of team.
Yep.
So I'm excited for Azelf as well, because I think this is... I know Thomas drafted him once or twice, but this is, in my mind, the first time that he's been drafted, because Thomas did absolutely nothing with him. No offense to Thomas.
Oh boy.
Since I had Azelf in Season 2. So, long time coming.
Azelf definitely can do some good stuff. It's utility. It's kind of like a lead, too, so... It's a very good lead.
That's all I ever used it for when we didn't know how to play this game, when I brought the exact same team in Season 2 from week 5 onward.
Hey man, start your studs, alright?
Exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised. Azelf definitely one of the starters there. Embor, like you said, big powerhouse, normally only gets the Scarf. That's basically all you need it for. Reckless flare blitzes, so it will kill itself, and then 2 kids are going to die tonight. It's going to take down whatever it's hitting.
Poor Embor.
And Arbok, who is Arbok. Let's move on to Rob.
Nice.
Next we got Rob, who has Machoke Madness here, going back to his roots, his Macho Man roots, which I believe this is the 3rd season now where he's had a Macho Man themed team name.
Oh yeah,
Greninja as the mon here. I'm happy Rob got Greninja, first season at 160. Gonna be a very threatening mon on this team. Z-Captain is Nihiligo there.
Love it.
Who also went down this season. 120 Nihiligo might be one of those things where we might, much like Magnezone, where we might regret it, but I guess we'll have to see.
YOLO, Joe.
Exact. You only draft battle once, 9 times.
Exactly. We can fix it again next season. Relax. If Rob breaks the world with it, he breaks the world with it. It's not going to be Cheetar.
Exactly. That's a more traditional Z-Captain too, I would say, where you're going to be just punching holes with it. It could have been the co-Z-Captain. I don't know what Rob's plan is with fucking Oricorio as his co-captain here, but as you could tell as well, another note on the team cards, that big blank space to the left of some of these team cards is where the co-captain symbol will go. Just so you know, in advance. So that's why it's on.
Does the jellyfish get Sandstorm?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because Z Sandstorm will raise your speed, and then with the Beast Boost, you just artificially increase whatever stat you want to.
Probably special attack. So
I could definitely see that working out for him.
That could be pretty good. I never thought about that, but there you go, Rob. I know you don't listen to these normally, but something to think about. He's got Tapu Bulu, the powerhouse, the big guy.
I love Rob's core of Draudigon, just cheap 60-point Garchomp, Tapu Bulu, and Mega Aggron. Gag me to death right now.
That's a lot of physical defense, too, on those guys.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, Aggron has filter, plus grassy terrain.
Oh,
no one's allowed to have ground moves on Rob's team. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Which definitely, that helps out with Nihilego, too. I didn't even think about the grassy terrain.
It helps out with everything. It helps out with Alola Marowak, Nihilego, Espeon doesn't want to be taking that nonsense. Like
4 times resisted Leavanny, of course.
Yes, there it is. That's going to heal Leavanny every time Earthquake happens. It's going to be minus like 6.
But Bulu, I still wish it got a physical fairy move. That's the only thing that's holding it back, I think. So you got to try to find... I mean, the physical presence is all over this team with Girder, with Aggron, with Dredigan, with Alolan Marowak. So you really don't need it, but it would have been nice.
Yeah. But I feel like it's a good balance. He has a lot of big, bulky, slow, physical guys. And then Espeon and... Nihilego to sweep it up
as your fast special attackers in there. My boy Regice, of course. I want to tell you a fun story about Regice where it got double sniped essentially during the draft. I forget what round it was. I believe it was 6 or 7. Drac was like, "I want Regice this round." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll get back to you on that." Then I ask Mario what he wants, and he goes, "I want Regice this round." And he picks before Drac. So I'm like, "Okay, so sorry, Drac. Mario's going to take Regice." And then Rob, coming out of whatever fucking stupor he was in, where he missed his
4 picks in a row.
It was one of those things where he supersedes whoever's on tap, so he goes, "I want Regice." So I had to tell Mario, Regice is gone, sorry.
Oh boy. The double snipe. Man.
The rare double snipe. You're a big fan of Girder. Manny, why don't you tell me how you feel about Girder on this team?
I love Girder. I have like an emotional attachment to Girder. Like if I didn't have Chansey as my dedicated Eviolite user, spoiler alert to everyone, I would definitely have Girder. I've had Girder on I think 4 out of the 9 teams I've had.
I mean, there are so many fighting types in Tier 4 too. I'm a little mad.
Well, to be fair, when I had him, he was Tier 5.
He was Tier 5, yes.
He was such a value at Tier 5. Like how are you gonna break through Eviolite Girder just hitting Drain Punch with max HP? Like you're not gonna break through that.
No, I agree, and that's why he's in Tier 4 with the getting lost in a sea of fighting types.
Yeah. It's just Tier 4 is where all the fighting types go to die. My champ is coming there next.
I was gonna say that's where I get my fighting types from. You're gonna give me a Hitmonlee, you're gonna give me a Sock, you're gonna give me a Girder. Like everybody can get a fighting type out of Tier 4 if they wanted.
Yeah, there's 20 of them.
I like another fun story about Leavanny too, where who was first? I think it was because we talk about Rob sniped Mario. It happened right back where...
Are you telling me there was a Leavanny snipe?
There was not a Leavanny snipe. No, it's the other way around actually, where Rob goes, "I want Masquerain," and I had to tell Rob, "Sorry, Drac is getting Masquerain." And he goes, "Okay, that's fine. Give me Ariados." "Sorry, Rob, Mario's getting Ariados."
Oh boy, it's the same 3 people? Oh my god.
And then he goes, "Fine, nobody fucking wants Leavanny. Let me get Leavanny." So, essentially it was a sticky web war that we had going on.
Oh boy. Webs everywhere.
Oh, I forgot to silence my phone. My bad. There's
Joe!
The ceramic breaking sound effect. There you go. My favorite. So, Leavanny, though. Maybe one of those mons that you don't know is a sticky web user too. Again, you are 4 times weak to both fire and flying, which is rough, but
it's awful.
If you gotta, it's fast enough. I think it breaks 100. I guess Leavanny's not really a Pokemon that I look at too often, so even if you don't give it a sash or anything, you're probably gonna get those webs out at least.
Yeah, and this is why I love draft format because you're like, yeah, fucking Leavanny.
And that can help. Those webs can help out a mon like a slower mon like Regice, a slower mon like Tapu Bulu to really start cracking heads if the webs are out.
Exactly.
So that's Rob.
I love Rob's team as a whole. I love it. It looks very well rounded.
It does. He's got, like I said, the defensive core there. I don't
Bulky
know
boys. What the hell is with everyone?
Not a lot of recovery on any of the guys though, but he's got, say, the the Druddigan, the
He has
Regice.
grassy terrain recovery.
That's true. That can be helpful.
An
So
Espeon sneaky wish user.
yeah, sneaky fast. So you think it's going to come in to kill something, and you use Wish, and then whoop, I'm gone. Sorry.
Exactly.
Let's move on to the Thoid team in the Lorelei division. One of the new guys here, Dylan, with the Huntington Garbadors, showcasing one of the few, I think like 3 or 4 people got their namesake Mon. Dylan being one of them. I forget who he wanted as his last pick instead, but he was like, wait a minute, no, I gotta get Garbodor. You kidding me?
Good for him.
Garbodor as well, I would just consider him not as good Weezing, because he can get rid of Toxic Spikes, I guess, which Weezing can't, but whatever.
I don't know about not as good as Weezing. Just because Weezing just has that Levitate, which is just a little bit more useful, but I think Garbodor is very... I feel like Garbodor is more useful with its ability to set T-Spikes, to do weird things with, like, Aftermath. I think it gets... I'm pretty sure it's a weird pain split user too. I could be wrong in that one.
It is. It's got a lot of the same. It hits a lot of the same notes as Weezing, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's 20 points cheaper.
And it is 20 points cheaper now because I drafted Weezing so much that it got moved up.
Exactly.
Because Weezing's my big purple boy.
Exactly. So, with that weird Gen 1 moveset. But anyway.
So Garbodor, very much like when not a mon that shows up very often on teams. Rob drafted him once, I think. So I'm happy to see that. Your Z-move user is Tapu Fini, who, Fini is probably good for it, I'd say. You want to power up that...
Offensive Fini is very sneaky.
You want to power up that Misty Terrain boosted Moonblast. There you go. There's your Twinkle Tackle that's going to probably Myrtleize something.
Fini is, is a nice wall breaker when you don't expect it. It's, middling fast, 90, 95 speed, something like that?
It's about there, yeah.
And... deceptively powerful with those fairy type moves under the terrain, but boosting fairy type moves. That's a lot of people forget that's what Fini's thing does too.
Yeah.
It's a deceptive play, and then combined with the fact that now if Fini you can't stall out any of his members now because the terrain doesn't let you status anything.
No status. There's also, don't forget, my favorite thing when I had Z Captain Coco, Guardian of Alola, Z Nature's Madness, which gets rid of 75% of anything's health.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, from 100, but
And we are allowed to use that, just so everyone's aware.
Yes. The only Mew EMZ is the only one because it activates Psychic Terrain, I think, right?
Something dumb like that.
Yeah.
I forget why. There's a reason why we banned it. I just don't remember why.
You got Hydreigon as the more traditional Z co-captain. Hydreigon still at 120, still could be a problem where it's going to hit... does anybody want a Z Draco from any dragon? especially a dragon like Hydreigon?
Yeah. The only thing... Hydreigon, is one of those dragons that, hyper struggles against fairies.
It is 4 times weak, but this is where not having Hidden Power Fairy is nice and helpful.
True, and that works. But I'm telling you, even modest Flash Cannon from Hydreigon, doesn't dent things that it's supposed to. Sylveon, I know it's probably an outlier because it's a bulky special side. Sylveon and Florges match up very well even through Flash Cannon damage.
Yeah. So, but still, that Flash Cannon is a good option to get rid of possibly a weaker fairy. Nobody took Diancie, I don't think, which is unfortunate. But that 4 times weak to Flash Cannon, that guy. We talked about as well during the draft where it was a scary defense that he was building here with Fini and Ferrothorn together. The combination that when you say them together, it sends this chill up your spine because what the fuck.
Yeah, on top of that, don't forget Rotom Heat, man. Rotom Heat complements both of them perfectly.
Rotom Heat works very well.
Rotom Heat doesn't care about ground moves. He doesn't care about anything that wants to hurt Fini or Ferrothorn. So just the 3 of them are just it's a solid core. I wouldn't be surprised if he just brought those 3 to 100% of his matches.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He's got Big physical boys in there too. Oh, actually, a good amount of physical attack now that I'm looking at it, with a decent amount of speed behind it. You've got Ambipom, who we've seen can be a terror if you give it a band, if you run things like, what was it that was it reversal? Banded reversal?
Retaliate.
Retaliate, that's what it was, excuse me.
Retaliate.
Banded Retaliate on Ambipom could win you a match.
It got me.
We've seen Terrakion before do amazing things, just blow people out when it was on Garrison's team last season. The Mon that we were talking about in the pre-draft thing as well, Mega Absol, who got moved down this season, where because of Magic Bounce, I made the mistake, oh yeah, that's right, you can't Toxic this guy, so it can do the same thing as a Bisharp or a Mawile, and just sit there and slam Sucker Punch in your face after hitting a Swords Dance.
No, yeah, I think that Absol is going to find its nice little spot at where it is now.
It has to compete with other Mons for like the big physical attacker spot. You've got Golurk
because he's kind of small.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
he doesn't want to be taking chip damage. He doesn't want to be taking attacks that he shouldn't be taking. Like he can't switch in a lot, things like that.
No, exactly. So it's going to be. I'm going to say Terrakion's probably the one we're going to see the most. Then maybe Absol. Ambipom we'll definitely see a bit of because everybody loves Ambipom. Who doesn't? Come on.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Banded Tail Slap.
You also see here in terms of Mons that aren't very big, Salazzle, another one here where. Made of paper, but can be nuclear at good opportunity. A good nasty plot user that we have not seen. I think M1 had a chance to do some nasty plot sweeping with it, but it didn't follow through. That chance is available.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Salazzle can definitely put in the work behind a nasty plot. Just haven't seen it yet.
Exactly. And everybody's favorite Sigilyph as well. Hitting those cosmic powers, the bane of random battles, the Mon that I absolutely hate seeing.
I hate it with its stupid I'm burned, but now you're burned, but now I'm not burned thing that happens. I don't like it, man. I don't like any of it.
Yeah, Psycho Shift Burn Orb, that's always fun. And Golurk as just a guy who can punch, I guess.
Yeah, just a big ghost guy who punches things. It's fine.
And rounding out the division, I was going to say the eldest member, but technically Rob and Mike are both the eldest members here. Gyarados Eki's and the most interesting team in the world. One, Mike, who categorizes his team card by whom else but the Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon that have been drafted a lot by one person, it's me with Dugtrio, it's you with Girder, and it is Mike with Garchomp here.
Oh, there he is again. Mike and Garchomp. The love affair that will never stop.
Never gonna live down using Aqua Tail in the sun, in my mind. Doing like 12% damage.
I can't say enough good things about Garchomp, though, so... No, exactly. I will give Mike a pass for this because Garchomp deserves all of the love that he gets.
It's a slam dunk in terms of a choice. You look at Mike's team... Shaman is the main Z user here. Garchomp is the co-captain, so Garchomp's going to hit stuff really hard. Shaman has probably stupid shit that we don't know about. He's going to...
I would have flip-flopped that one. I would have gave Shaman the co-captain, and I would have made Garchomp the actual captain, because Z Sandstorm is hilarious. Swords Dance, Z Sandstorm, the game's over at that point.
Yeah, you know what? You keep mentioning that. It's one of those things where I think people are just waiting for... That'd be great. Why don't they do that? The fuck? That'd be really good.
Beats me, man.
Maybe Mike will switch it out. Who knows? That can only be one pickup, right? That's not two pickups to change your captain and to switch your captain and co-captain around. That can only be one pickup. We're not gonna,
yeah, we'll count it as one. We'll count it as one pickup.
We're not going to give Mike with two pickups.
Right, we're not going to be assholes here.
But look at the defense Mike is bringing, first of all. Because
I know. Mike with the straight-up snipe. Okay? I went off. Probably just on you, Joe. I was flipping shit at round one. I was like, "What is this? Why is it like? Why is Toxapex down? Why is Tank?" I was expecting to get some other half of my core, but then I got nothing.
No, a lot of good defensive Mons got taken very early on. Toxapex was Mike's first round pick, and I just need to know Mike's play style. We talked about this during the draft. He's not a very patient guy. I gotta know if he's going to if he's going to think out his moves enough to make the core of Toxapex and Blissey work.
Yeah, see, that's going to be the issue with me and Mike. It's, I don't know, like, you want to just, on turns that you go into Toxapex and Blissey, you just want to go even, because if you go even, you win. And Mike is a very aggressive player, and I don't know I don't see how Blessy and Toxapex are going to fit here. I understand where he's coming from with the two of them. They're both exceptionally big, but I don't know where he's going with this one.
I have no doubt in my mind that there will be matches where Mike will look at Blissey has like 85 special attack. It's not small. It's not great, but it's not small, where he's just going to look at that and go, I could put Fire Blast on Blissey, and it'll do 40% to this guy's, like, grass type. And then in the matchup, and he's going to do that thing that he did with Sableye and Cresselia, where instead of being defensive, he's going to try and turn them into, I'm just going to I'm going to hit Calm Mind a bunch of times, I'm going to rest on my special defense, and it'll be fine.
God damn it. I can't wait to see offensive banded Toxapex coming at us.
How about the double Intimidate that he's got going on here, too, with Mega Manectric and Incineroar?
Also, sneakily, a very good Volt turn core.
Oh, yeah, does Incineroar get your turn?
Yes.
Oh, my God. How about that?
I'm like almost positive. I had him.
If not, you've got... Xatu probably gets U-turn, so there you go. Close enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You got Rabombi in there. Rabombi can hit U-turn.
Yes, Incineroar gets U-turn.
Look at that. You've got a lot of Pokemon that can.
So he has double Intimidate with a Volt turn core, fantastic, on top of a Regenerator and Fat Blissey. The only thing I can see here that's terribly wrong with Mike's team is the ground spam. So
there is.
He has a good Volt turn core, but both of them lose to the same move, which
he does have. Toxapex loses to it as well. He does have, though, a nice Levitate Mon.
Shaman and
Shaman. He has a nice Levitate Mon and Cryogonal, and he's got Xatu there too. So
yeah,
he's got options.
But is he going to bring? That's 3 slots to roster though, in a 6.
Not to mention
a team of 6 though. So
Lucario,
like, is he bringing 3? Yeah, like, is he going to bring 3? Is he going to bring 1 and just hope that, that one person can take all the earthquakes for the team? So who knows? I mean, you would hate to see something like your co-captain and Shaman get relegated to defensive earthquake check.
So. Yeah, that's we'll see. I mean, Cryogonal, we've seen big special defense as well. It's paper on the physical side, but I think that Cryogonal can be a decent switch in for those. But I think you're right where he's got to be careful about the earthquakes. And in the division, like the division as a whole, looking at it here, I mean, he doesn't have. Are there any big? We saw Donphan, on Dan's team. Dredigan has Earthquake, I'm pretty sure. Like,
every Mon and their grandmother gets Earthquake. It's just a very spammable move.
That's true. So Terrakion definitely he has some things to watch out for. He's got to be careful of those Earthquakes. Maybe put a sneaky Shukaberry on I guess Incineroar.
There it is.
Let's move to Bruno. Let's see what Bruno's got going on. Downtown Bruno here. The champ. Returning. Tristan with the Earth Badge. Going the green. All green everything here. With Celebreeze. And getting his main Mon, his main guy Celebi, up in there. The captains and co-captains in this one are a bit odd. I'd have to see how this one works out, where you've got Blaziken being the main captain here. Normal Blaziken, no speed boost. And I can understand Electivire, because it is a coverage monster, and everybody loves it. So...
absolute madman right there.
So I could definitely see where that's coming from. I don't know what his plan is with Blaziken. When it comes out, I bet it's going to be a nightmare, and I'm going to be scared really bad when it happens.
I mean, Blaziken's a decent wall breaker. I don't get... because Blaziken's one of those weird bonds where you're like, you remember like anime Blaziken, but then you look at actual Blaziken and you're like, oh, this is the live action. This is the anime Blaziken. So I don't know about that one, but his team outside of that, like I just don't understand where Blaziken fits into the team in general. Like look how fat his team is.
I mean, you've got Mega T-Tar in there, which
This is a classic Tristan team, by the way.
it's not. As soon as we were looking at this team last season too, that we knew that it was Trick Room. I don't see that on this team. I do see a lot of nice physical and special defense in. You've got your Gliscor in there. You've got Milotic. You've got a nice, specially defensive Snorlax. You got Registeel in there, for fuck's sake. Mega T-Tar is no slouch when it comes to defense.
No. Like he has lots of and like Torn T, sneaky defender as well.
I mean that pure flying type can do a lot to slow some to slow down any fighting move that might threaten Mega T-Tar. You've got Gliscor to do that too. It's well put together, I'd say for certain.
I love it. And Torn helps with the speed control. The only thing, like, if there's no like centralized theme, it's just I just would be wary. But like T-Tar is bulky, but he's also fantastic, like Dragon Dance user, so that can get out of hand really fast,
very quickly. Yes.
So it's not even like there's not enough offense in there because like Gliscor sneaky offense, Torn could be sneaky offense. Electivire is just an absolute machine. So I'm gonna say like Electivire is gonna be his offensive MVP.
I think so. Like you said with Gliscor, that's a very sneaky Swords Dance user, and can be. So it might be he kind of gets sometimes bogged down in the defogs and the roosts and the U-turns of the world. And
he definitely has 4 move slot for sure. He has that syndrome. There's never a good Gliscor set because he can run 40 different moves. So you're always like, ah.
No matter what happens, you're gonna be like, I should have brought this and I should have brought that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you've got Excelgor and rounding things off Barbaracle, who I'm guessing is just there to shell smash.
Yep, just to be intimidating, to shell smash, to keep people on their toes. That's about it. I mean, it's all you really need out of a lower tier pick like that.
Next, we're moving on to another champ, actually. We're going champ by champ by champ. It's Thomas here, who changed his team name, but I made his team card have the old logo because Rob made it anyway, so you should be thankful that he made it, because it's Thomas who will no longer be known as Counting Murkrows. His team will actually be known as the Toronto Star Raptors moving forward. But
what a bandwagon! Get out of here! You are relegated to Counting Murkrows, dude.
I made sure when I told Rob the logo that he had to do, I gave him the old Raptors logo with the Raptor with the basketball. So
yes, the vintage logo.
That's what it's going to be based on. Mega Banette as his big boy on the side here. Mega Banette is a stopgap. The buck stops here. You are going to die when Mega Banette comes in, and you better kill. Even if you have to go 1-for-1 with Mega Banette, just do it. Fuck it, because it's going to hit Shadow Sneak and its attack is gigantic, and it might kill you anyway. So that's another thing. Don't let Mega Banette come in on something low, because it'll just kill that and then hit D-Bond, Prankster D-Bond. So people are going to have fun with that, and by fun I mean I'm going to hate it.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a good mon to do. Oh God, to play against at all. But hopefully our new D-Bond rules will make it a little bit more fun to play against.
I mean, it doesn't change Mega Banette where D-Bond lasts for 2 turns with it anyway, so if you don't hit it on the D-Bond turn, it's going to hit Shadow Sneak and possibly kill you. And then it's going to hit D-Bond again.
Yikes. we're going to have to ban Destiny Bond, aren't we?
No, come on. Not until Smokin does it, of course, because we follow their lead.
What do they know? The stupid council.
Fucking
anyway.
Zygarde and Ubers, come on.
Just because it's too centralized, whatever. I don't want to get started on that.
You've got Latias as your Z captain. You've got Zoroark as your co-captain.
Love it. Love all of that.
Latias definitely has some defensive options, and there's some little fun things that you could do with it. Zoroark, of course, disguise yourself as something, and then, here comes a Z move. Whoa! Oh no, here it comes. I'm actually Zoroark.
I loved having Zoroark. I horrendously undervalued. That shit's hysterical. It is a nightmare. It's wonderful. It's so rewarding to play with, but it's horrendously awful to play against. So I was like, now, like, especially if he disguises that shit as like a Zoomerl or like Infernape or any of his physical threats, because now you're like, okay, what? You're playing roulette now. It's like, what do I check into? Because if I go into my physical check and I get this wrong, dude, like, Dark Pulse is gonna murder me.
Especially if it's a Z Dark Pulse too. So
seriously, you're gonna have to get your Odor Sleuths out. This is coming from the guy who used Leer in a competitive battle.
Hey, Leer can be useful, you know?
It worked!
It works.
It worked! It was my Mega Venusaur check.
You've got, as you were saying in there, Azumarill and Infernape, who are essentially just opposites on the type, type-wise, but so very good at what they do. Azumarill being the belly drum user, of course, and surprising that he didn't go Azumarill as the Z user there, that the possible Z belly drum, but Infernape as well as a great mixed attacker. You don't know what it's going to do until it does something.
I love Infernape, and I never knew I needed this in my life until just now, Joe. I never knew that I needed Azumarill and Infernape on the same team. Because that's a great combo. Like, even if it's like, yeah, like my physical wall, like your physical wall is gonna take both of them. No.
And even then, you've got your dedicated physical attacker in Azumarill, you've got your special attacker in Magnezone, and then you've got Infernape picking up the slack on either end. So
exactly. They both have great priority moves too. Infernape has 2, and Azumarill has Aqua Jet. Like, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
You got Shucky in there, hitting the sticky webs. I'm not a big fan of Shuckle, but if it's there to lay hazards, that's what it's there to do.
Yep, I mean, that's his role. Just don't get caught with your pants down like Tyler did.
You got Staraptor in there, who also, I think, for 100, after it was moved down, is a very big potential threat. It's got Reckless like Emboar, but it's actually fast, so those Brave Birds are going to carve you up.
Those Brave Birds, those double edges, no fun. No fun.
I like his Tier 5 picks here. Well, I like 2 of his 3 Tier 5 picks. I'm a big proponent of Piloswine. You're a big proponent of Meganium. Tell me about Meganium.
I don't talk about Meganium anymore. This has come full circle. Thomas now has drafted the Mon that led to his victory. So I don't know if this is a taunt or if this is him actually wanting Meganium.
Those wounds are still deep, Manny. I can tell.
But Meganium, I think I made him work a little bit, but just don't get frozen, Thomas.
Well, you got Piloswine there to take the ice moves to not get frozen.
Yep, perfect.
Eviolite Piloswine, a sneaky good Eviolite user, can be there just for rocks and things, but can still hit a decently powerful Earthquake. Still gets Ice Shard and things like that. So if you need that extra bit of priority, you could even slap a band on it. Why not? Fuck it! Come on! Banded Piloswine with Ice Shard, that can do some damage.
What? I
don't know, man. And you got Swoobat with Simple. Simple is hilarious. I don't think it's really been used properly, but it's one of those things where if you catch your opponent on a switch out and you hit Calm Mind, now they got to work extra hard to get rid of Swoobat, which is what you want.
Yeah, Swoobat's sneaky if you're not ready, and that's all you need for a lower tier pick.
Exactly.
It's just to keep something in the back of your opponent's mind.
And moving on here, we've got the third person of the Bruno squad here. It is Hunter, one of the new people, the Flinchstones. He's got Golisopod as his Mon on the side here. Golisopod is awkward, I'd say, as a Mon. just because you almost can't use them as a switch in, especially if rocks are gone, because you switch them in and then you just automatically have to switch them out again, and then you're going to take another 25% from rocks when you come
Exactly.
in. But
I don't know. Like, first impression is fantastic. Liquidation hurts like a bitch. So, like, in the right scenario, he can be fine. He can be wonderful. You just need to be very supportive.
and you've got Aquajet otherwise too after the first impression, so you've got options.
Yeah, and just looking at his team though, and going into his Z captain here, I really hope that he didn't put too many eggs into that Lando basket, because Lando is the only defogger besides like Talonflame. He has no way to clear hazards with things like Talonflame taking 50, Magmortar taking 25. Lando doesn't appreciate it. Egil doesn't appreciate it. Galissapod doesn't appreciate it. So, yikes. That's something he might want to look into to fix in there.
Smeargle can learn any move, so technically it's a rapid spinner, right?
No, it's true, but I'm going to be like, Smeargle, go rapid spin for me. Like, no. Like, if Smeargle dies after 5 turns, you won.
Smeargle is going to hit that power of Geomancy. That's what it's going to do.
Boom. Spore, and then 4 hazards.
You've got, Lando is Lando. He's the captain. He's always going to be a captain because he's Lando. You've got Magmortar in there as your co-captain, who is pretty good with special coverage. It's not Electivire, I'd say, because the price difference kind of shows that, but Magmortar's still a pretty decent option, I think, as something that can blow something up.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. If you don't have anything you want to do, like his upper tier picks, I really don't feel like could benefit from the Z move that much, so why not?
The rest of what we got going on, he's going double 200 here with Jirachi and Lando. Jirachi, as we saw on Dan's team last season, can definitely be a problem if you let it be. But it's not a Jirachi at 200. It can be a world breaker, but you got to work for it. And I think it depends on how he builds his team.
Yeah, Jirachi's always been one of those weird bubble mons for me that sometimes I feel like it's worth 180.
We've got a few of
where
those, yeah.
I never feel good taking it at 200, so I'd never end up taking it, but I always want it because it's fantastic. It has lots of coverage, it has lots of utility, so I'm excited to see if Jirachi can work for him.
You've got the speed on this team too here. You've got your Superior, you've got your Talonflame, you've got your Mega Beedrill, all of which are can blow stuff up. Talonflame, if those rocks are not available, you want to use those Gale Wings to hit a Brave Bird. Maybe you get a Roost in there, hit one again. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, and he has a lot of good, like, Talonflame can U-turn out of there. Lando can U-turn. Jirachi can U-turn.
I just noticed
Egil can U-turn.
Beedrill could definitely U-turn. I just noticed we've got 2 Contrary Mons in here, too, with Malamar as well as Superior.
Doubling down on the contrary, I love it. I was eyeing Malamar for the longest time, but I just can never make it fit into a team, but I'm really happy about that.
As well, the classic pick of Dusclops, who is usually a very popular tier 5. I feel like, I don't know if I'm like pot calling the kettle black or like not seeing the forest for the trees, where I'm the guy who loves Regice, even though it offers no useful resistances with its ice typing, where I feel like I look at Dusclops and even Dusknoir, and I'm like, do I really want a Ghost as my defensive guy?
Right, sure, but they both have access to one of the dumbest abilities in draft format.
Get that Frisk. Yep.
Frisk is super underrated and it's super important. You frisk an item, now you can essentially determine the rest of a set, depending on what the item is.
Yeah, if it's
a choice item, they're locked. If they're locked and they're 4 moves. If it's like which Z move, if it's like a super berry or anything like that, like it's super valuable piece of information that now you can just get. And since you can only use 1 item per battle, it's now you can assess other Mon's items too if you're smart enough.
Very true. We've also got... were you interested in drafting Pyukumuku at all, Manny?
I thought about it. I really did.
because I know that Mike was convinced at one point. He's like, man, he's going to draft Pyukumuku in the last round, isn't he? Oh my god! And I, it's, I don't like the fact that Pyukumuku gets just shut down as soon as a special attacker comes in. That's all you need to do.
Right. I thought that I had enough anti setup on my team as I was drafting that I didn't feel the need to go after someone like Pyukumuku.
Fair enough. But the team comes together quite well here. Love the icon, love the team name. Let's finish off Bruno here with Mitch, the Lavender Town Orchestra here. A little bit of Gengar with a Wind Waker, basically. And Mimikyu as the Mon taking center stage here, who is the co-Z captain, the main Z captain, of course, being a Persian, which sets the tone for basically every Pokemon with Parting Shot getting to be a Z captain.
Yep, Z Parting Shot, that's basically where you're at. Super, super useful. Heals that incoming Mon, right?
Yes, it's Z Parting Shot.
And it lowers the attack and special attack.
Yep, you do the normal Parting Shot business, and then whatever you switch in will get healed back to full. So say, Pelipper's been taking a beating. Mega Venusaur. Say Mega Venusaur's down at like 12 HP, like 15 HP. Comes in, takes damage from rocks, is at like 3%. Whoop! Back to 100. Now you gotta deal with Mega Venusaur all over again.
Son of a bitch. And then the small Rain Core.
He's got, it's interesting because Pelipper you feel like would Pelipper and Mega Swampert are usually the duo that you see, but here we've got, not only do we have Ludicolo, who is your special Swift Swimmer, you've got Kabutops, who's your physical Swift Swimmer, and you got Armaldo to Swift Swim too, because why not?
Exactly. So you never know which one, but I was toying around the idea with Rain, and I loved the idea of like Pelipper plus a different Mega plus Kabutops. I really liked that combination better than I did of spending two tier ones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hard sell, but Mega Venusaur, defensive monster. Pelipper can be sneaky bulky. The 4 times electric. Does he have a ground type? Actually, now that I look at it, he's got. No. Oh no, he's got Zebstrika though. So he can get the motor drive or the other one. Lightning Rod? Does it get both? I think it gets both.
And Mega Venusaur doesn't care about electric moves.
No.
Kyurem doesn't care about electric moves. Kyurem has like a base 130 special defense or some dumb shit.
Its stats are big enough that you'd think that it was bulkier than it is, I think.
The classic Kyurem problem.
I like the Delphox play. Delphox is always one of the first mons that I look at in Tier 4, but then I realize that there's a million Psychic types in every single tier, so usually by the time it gets to the Tier 4 mons, I already have my Psychic type, so I don't want Delphox.
Yeah, Psychic types are a hard sell for me, but Delphox... Magician is fantastic.
You get Magician plays in there, you could do something like give yourself a Fire Gem, a Psychic Gem, hit that Fire Blast, and then whoop, thank you, give me that.
Yeah, or that weird... what's the word? Like Power Herb Solar Beam to like fight grass types that want to come in or water types that want to come in on you, and then or not grass types, ground types and water types that want to come in on Delphox, and then you steal their item with Magician because you don't have any now.
So you
the best set I've ever seen.
You might get lefties, you might get things like that. That's pretty.
Who the fuck cares?
Exactly. You're getting an item.
Exactly. You're plussing, Joe.
We said Zebstrika in there too, who's pretty good. You've got Armaldo who can spin, as well as Sneaky Spinner in Armaldo. I think this could be Cobalion. We forgot to talk about Cobalion too. He's there, good defender. Like him a lot. This is a bit of a weird team construction, I think, but I feel like Mitch can not even luck into some things, but he can do some damage with the team.
Mega Venus, not luck into things. He can Mega Venusaur into things.
Mega Venusaur and Swift Swim into things. That's technically all he really needs.
You're right. Mega Venusaur is kind of like Chansey in the way that if Mega Venusaur is your last mon alive, you're still in the game.
Very true. I feel like Mitch doesn't have to deal with any other rain in his division, I don't think, either. So he has carte blanche to just kind of throw in Pelipper to every single one of his matches and force his opponent to deal with it.
Exactly. Why not? It's one of those things, man. Just come at me.
Well, let's move on to the Agatha division here. Moving on to Mario with Stan Landeris's Papa Culture, even though we got Thundo I as the big guy, the big man on campus, the big man on card right here. Manny, I planted the idea in Mario's head.
Yes.
I looked at the points, and I went, Mario, you got 2 tier S's so far. Why don't you go for 3?
There's so much to unpack here, Joe. What an absolute madman.
So, Zardex, Thundo I, Kartana. That's a lot. That's offense right there.
That is the offense, Joe. Like, that's it.
I think Mario's philosophy is going to be win before he loses.
Yeah. And what the worst part about this team is, so you have to deal with those 3 attackers, right? Then, God forbid, he brings both Umbreon and Vaporeon. So now you're going to have to deal with those 3 attackers at least 7 times.
Because those wishes are coming out.
Value picks.
Whoa,
yes, talk about value picks, man.
He's passing
that's
out
all he
wishes.
has to do. Exactly. Like, Umbreon's never going to die in 1 hit, maybe not even 2 hits. And then, like, he's just wish everywhere. Just, it's Oprah, you get a wish, you get a wish.
I was going to make that reference, God damn it.
God, it's everywhere, man. It's fantastic. And then, like, Sticky Web support with Ariados. Love it. And then Unburden Hitmonlee. Like, what? And then the speed tier of Ninetales just dies, and then the sun for 8 turns. Like, can you imagine Victory Bell or Charizard Y under the sun? Like, just get out of here, dude. It's going to be it's 15 turns, max.
You are going to have not a good time. You've got big stupid walls in there like Rhyperior and Avalugg too, where again they don't offer much in the way of resistances. At least Avalugg doesn't, but they're going to stand there and they're going to get in the way, and then one of the special defenders is going to come in and wish them right back up because they're not going to get hurt.
Exactly. Like Mario made such great use of all of the lower tier picks because he needed to. I think he hit every single lower tier pick perfectly.
And he's got 20 points to fuck around with still. He didn't use all of his points.
What? Shit, man. He got 3 200s and he didn't use all his points. Fuck, man.
I think it was, he wanted Regice and he got Avalugg instead, so that's where the 20 extra points came from.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be, God forbid, God help everybody else in the Agatha division. So let's move on to...
Those battles are going to be... I don't even care if Mario gets swept out of the gym. Like, they're going to be hilarious. Because, like, something... Like, if people do win against Mario, they're going to win 1-0.
Honestly, this could be... the way that this team is built, it could be a case for us going back to the old system where you're required to pick things from every tier, because if Mario does incredibly well with 3 tier S's, it's what everybody's going to do, and all of, like, tier 1 and 2 are going to disappear. Nobody's going to...
that's exactly what I'm doing next season. If this works, dude, I'm telling you, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Nobody is going to draft from them. The problem there is good Pokemon will run out eventually, so you got to be either really good at your draft or really lucky.
I for one welcome our new overlord.
Let's move on to replacement gym here. New guy extraordinaire, Super Minccino Odyssey, going with Megadactyl, a Pokemon who does not have a very large P&G, so he doesn't have the presence of some of the other Pokemon. I think I even blew that up to like 200%, because for some reason Megadactyl's picture is just a little too small on wherever I got it from.
He's just a very self-conscious Pokemon. He doesn't want his picture taken. It's fine.
He's very fast. He's so sad that he's so fast.
Exactly, with all those friggin' rocks poking out of him.
Looking at this team, I love the weird, like the Pokemon that are either weird options of popular type combinations or type combinations you don't really see very often, such as Dhelmise is nowhere near the most popular Grass Ghost, but it might be my favorite.
I'm looking at the team now that you said it, and you're right. This is a very like eclectic group of mods that I never thought I would see on the same team.
Kamalo's the only fighting dragon, I think, right? Yeah?
Yes.
That line, essentially. Drapion, Poison Dark, fairly popular, but you're going to see Amok most of the time. I mean, it's more popular than Skuntank, but, like, Escavalier, possibly the least well liked Bug Steel, but one of my favorites just because
He always finds his way into a team.
he's a monster. I remember being for that one season when I had Rain, where I was very paranoid that somebody was going to take a Scavalier, and I don't know why.
It's a weird thing to be paranoid about, Joe.
You might say as well that the team could possibly be lacking in speed in some places, but then again, that's where you get Galvantula. That's where the sticky webs come in.
Oh boy.
Like
what a team.
It goes up very quickly. You've got everything kind of middling around the same place, like the 90s and 80s with Drapion and Flygon and Kamao, and then you've got the slower stuff like Licky Licky and Escavalier and Heatran kind of like 70-ish. And then you've got, it jumps up with Galvantula, then it goes straight to Alolan Ninetales, and then 150 with Mega Aerodactyl.
Great speed tiers, man. And like Manaphy with Z Rain Dance.
Yes.
Hydration, very, very annoying.
Manaphy is the main Z captain on this team for that reason, because that's the reason it went back to 160, is because Z Rain Dance is a thing. And he didn't get like you don't really need a Swift Swimmer or anything. If you're using Manaphy with Z Rain Dance, it should probably be the only person that has any kind of rain connection. You don't need it for anything else.
Right. Exactly.
Heatran as well, the 200 pick. Everybody loves Heatran. You've got decent options for switch-ins to those nasty earthquakes that'll be going on. I mean, actually, it might only be Dhelmise now that I think about Dhelmise and Aerodactyl, because you've got, Galvantula, it's neutral. It's super effective against Drapion. Neutral against Escavalier. Licky Licky might be able to take one, but you might want to be careful about those earthquakes. You never know what's going to happen.
Very spammable move.
Incredibly. So we'll move on here. We've got Gage, who has potentially one of my favorite team builds, merely on the fact that he 100% committed to the bit. It is Wholesale Puppers is the one here where we've got... Did I use the same sand background for... No, I used two different sand dunes for Garchomp and for Stoutland here.
Oh, good, thank God.
Yeah, I was going to... I probably should have used something different for Stoutland, but of course it's a Sand Rush monster, and that's why you got Hippowdon in there.
Boy.
But I say committed to the bit because it's essentially the return, Manny, of your Season 3 powerhouse... 3 Doge Moon here, where...
Oh, bringing me back.
All the legendary dogs are here on one team.
Dude, I love that combo. It is a fantastic combo. It's a fantastic... They're all so sneaky bulky. Like, it's disgusting. And they all do such different things. It's wonderful. Like, I can't believe that somebody has reacquired all of the dogs and then double down on the dogs to get Didoge, to get Stoutland. This is far beyond James's mustache team.
You've got Granbull in there too. It's basically the only mons that aren't dog related. You could say Hoopa and Ferroseed, because you can make an argument that Absol and Virizion are dog-like, I guess.
They are dog-like. I'll give you that. I love every single bit of this team.
And Hippowdon, too, of course, because you need that for Stoutland. Because, again, Sandrush Stoutland won James a championship, very nearly won me a championship. I think that weather is a fairly easy way to at least punch a ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, even just a simple two-man core. Like, you don't need to go, and we'll discuss this probably later in the pod today, but you don't need to go balls to the wall weather. Like, I had so much success with just a two-man Sun core. Like, people have had success with just two-man cores before, so you really don't need like a whole team behind it to do good with it. It could just be a nice little wrinkle, which I think it's probably where it should be, because like, instead of having to prep for sand, well, you don't always have to prep for sand now, which exactly. So it makes your team a little more versatile. It makes people have to kind of dance a little bit more.
Exactly, and I as well, the season that I won a championship, had Politoed and Kingdra as my duo.
Two-man core.
Two-man core, that's all you need. We also got Hoopa in there as the Z Captain, which can be hilarious. I want to see how well Hoopa can do at 100 because it's something that it was like nobody likes Hoopa, so we just moved it down. So, but it's got 150 special attack. It's pretty big.
Not my division.
That's everybody else's problem. So
yeah. This problem for future me, Joe. All right, that's not a problem for right now, me.
Well, let's get a move on here to Dave's team, Kamo OK Computer, which is one of my favorite ones here, as well as possibly my favorite background that I did, where you got Wishy Washy.
I love how school is all the way in the back. It's fantastic, Joe.
I tried to get a good sense of depth there. I kind of turned down the brightness on the ones that are further away, so
masterful.
I don't know how successful I was, but I think it looks okay.
No, it looks fantastic.
We got Gengar as your main Z Captain, which Gengar... I feel like this is very much the philosophy of hitting stuff hard because you got Gengar and Buzzwole as your respective captain and co-captain. So that could be a problem. Both of them, Buzzwole, again, moved down this season too, I think is going to be... Did Dave take Buzzwole before? I forget.
I don't... No. Maybe not. I think he had Beedrill.
Somebody did. I know he did have Beedrill at one point, that's right. But looking at the team altogether, Wishy Washy, first of all, again, moved to 40, was 100. The first time anybody took it was when it moved down to 40, which makes sense because...
It's such a value at 40 points, dude. If you can keep that shit into school form, he has, like, god tier stats.
It's where a Gimmickmon should be, is in tier 5,
right,
and that is exactly what Wishy Washy is. We'll see how good its gimmick is, and maybe we might have to move it back up. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that, like, Clefable, and Wishy Washy is going to be a problem.
Does it happen to where if its health goes back up, it goes back into school form? Wow,
yes.
I didn't know.
As long as its health is above a certain percentage, it goes back into school form. Yes.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll see how that turns out. Because, yeah, you look at the team here, it's pretty well put together, I'd say, where you've got... I mean, everybody hates Mega Alakazam because it's scary-ish. You got Mega Alakazam and Gengar, first of all. So...
Spooky boy.
You're going to get special attacked out the wazoo here. You got Clefable in there, too, who we know can be a terror. You got Crook. Everybody loves Crook. Crook is great.
Crocodile. Crook is the best.
You got...
like, sneaky physical attackers, like, not sneaky, but, like, Arcanine can really hurt.
Arcanine...
used well.
Crobat's a sneaky physical attacker, I'd say.
Crobat, too. Buzzwole behind his sub is absolutely frightening. So... He has two very good sub users with Alakazam and Buzzwole. I just hope that he uses Substitute. We are very against Substitute as a league, so...
Yeah, we don't use it too often, but I think that's where it can turn the tide. Something doesn't want to die to Alakazam and switches out. Well, all right, I'm just going to hit a sub real quick, and now the ball's in your court, guy. Maybe I'll hit Calm Mind. Maybe I'll actually attack you.
No, shit's not good.
The lower tier picks, like, Eviolite type Null on paper sounds pretty good because it's got, I believe, the same stats as Silvally other than HP, I think. HP and speed, maybe?
I don't know how it works out.
It's something like that where everything is 95 except for like one or two stats. It's got basically the exact same stats as Silvally. Doesn't get Parting Shot, but you give it the Eviolite and it's a normal type Pokemon that will be able to eat hits fairly well. I don't know what kind of utility it's got going on necessarily, but we'll see how it works out.
Eviolite users are always at a premium. They're an extra defensive item in a league where we're stuck, Like, after you get down to certain ways in your defensive core, you're like, shit, like, I can't give everyone leftovers. So, like, it's important that, like, you draft things like Crobat, who can use Black Sludge. You draft Eviolite users. So... It's just diversifying defensive items, so I'm not opposed to a tier 4 pick for an Eviolite user now.
You want to talk about, too, as well, when we were saying that everybody was going hard on defense, this might be one of the outliers, because, again, you've got kind of Crobat type Null.
Yeah, there's no defense here.
Lantern, kind of. Like, Lantern's got a high
sneaky
HP
defense.
stat.
There's sneaky defense.
Arcanine...
Lantern's not small. Crobat can be bulky. Arcanine can be bulky.
Clefable can be bulky.
Yeah. He has double Intimidate. So.
He does, that's true. That could be fun. So yeah, that's how you bring it together. Well, let's go ahead over to the Lance division as we're trying to speed through these. Obviously, here that we've got 8 more people and we've been doing this for an hour already.
Yikes!
We got James and the Bad Guys here. Champ got his badge there. Using Silcoon as his icon here because he wanted to give some love to. Did you know the story here, Manny, where in the Reddit poll of like vote for your favorite Pokemon, 4 Pokemon got 0 votes. Excuse me. Silcoon was one of them. Electric, Gothorita, and Yungoos, I think, were the other 3.
Oh man, poor Mons.
So these are James's set of bad guys here. We've got Kyurem Black as the main Z captain, who will punch a hole in every motherfucker that is standing, that lives, that will die, it's going to cause an infinite void of ice and blackness and terrible, and you're dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Like Kyurem Black combined with Mega Heracross, like that's a lot of attack power. That's like 700 attack between the two.
Combined with Metagross. Combined with Hariyama.
Coco can do lots of good things. Like James is a good team, but again, no. The thing I want to highlight about James's team is that I love his core of Hariyama, Metagross, and Mandibuzz.
Yeah,
I think that's hilarious, and then supported with like Mega Heracross, I think that's a really, really great core of like Mons there to start with.
I know that you were talking about Psychic Dark Fighting is a weird core because 2 of them are weak to Bug. Both of them, Mandibuzz and Metagross, both have a secondary typing that offsets a Bug weakness. So there we go.
So they're not anymore.
Yeah, there's your core.
Exactly. So it was at first I was like, what is James doing? But then in typical James fashion, I wait to see the whole picture and I go, oh, yep, there it is. Well, here it is. It's all coming together.
It doesn't help that he waited until like round 8 to draft Coco as well, which also Mario was planning on getting. Man, Coco fought the last Tapu taken here and fell just a fall from grace. Poor Coco.
There was a dash for 200 at the end of the draft, Joe.
There was. You were freaking out, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But you got Mandibuzz there for the defense. You've got Whimsicott there for all the stupid stuff it can do with Prankster, and just we saw a lot of Memento plays in Monotype Madness with Whimsicott, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like we saw another Monotype Madness staple here, Turtonator, who had like 2 breakout games. Is Turtonator 40 points now? I think it is. I think we moved it down there in our make.
That's just where it needs to be. Don't let Monotype Madness fool you.
No, I know.
Monotype Madness is not the draft.
No, you're right. It's not. But it's one of those things where after a Shell Smash, it's still faster than most Pokemon because double.
You're one of those guys who gets hyped after like the first preseason game, Joe.
I'm just saying, there are Pokemon here. I love Pokemon in every tier, Manny. Turtonator is not a Pokemon that I love, but I can see its value.
Okay, fair enough. Value. That's all it has value, but just let's pump the brakes on Turtonator.
No, exactly. I love Quillfish. Quillfish is great, but I don't want it to be 100 points because it's not that good.
Right.
And then rounding things out, we've got, I was going to say Sandygast, but no, it's the other one. The hell's its name? The Sandcastle one.
Oh, God. Oh, I know this, too.
I've got it. Wait, I've got it.
I'm just going to call it Sandygast.
I've got it right in front of me. Palisand. There we go.
Palisand. Damn it.
And Alolan Raichu, whom I dislike severely, I would say. When you're going to get an electric type in Tier 5, I don't think it should be Alolan Raichu.
He's just doing the electric terrain play.
You're right, actually. I didn't think about that. I forgot about that.
So that's all that's for, is to double his speed.
That's why did you need his already so fast? He's like 115.
It's a niche pick. That's all Tier 5 needs to be. So
that's true. If it wins him a game, it'll make him faster than a Scarf user that thinks it can outrun him, and he wins, and there we go. And then
if your Tier 5 wins you a game, it's worth the 40 points.
It is. I agree. So let's go ahead and move on to Jack here. Clang Chung everybody Clang Chung tonight with Torkoal, the boy, hitting up the side of this here. Torkoal getting in there. The duo that you had, actually. I forgot that we were supposed to move Venusaur up. But then we didn't, so...
oh, fuck, we didn't? No, we talked about this, Joe. No. Charge him an extra 40 points.
We got Torkoal and Venusaur there. Again, all you need. The two-man combo. Like, you have Blacephalon who can benefit from it, but is not going to... it's no slouch. You know, it doesn't need the sun to be really good.
Right. Yeah. Damn. We really messed up, Joe.
You got Mega Metacham in there. Again, the 200 pick that everybody says it should be. Now that I look at it, a lot of physical options on this team. You got Crawdaunt, you got Diggersby, Pure Power and Huge Power on the same team as well.
I was going to say, he went with adaptability, Huge Power, Pure Power, and then what does Blacephalon have?
Oh, Water Bubble! That's right.
Water Bubble. He just went with abilities that stack attack power, and I love it. That's a great play.
Those are physical monsters through and through, coupled with good defensive like Rotom Mow was mostly used as like a scarf target, so it can hit Leaf Storm or like even Specs Leaf Storm. Grass and Electric with Levitate, sneaky good, I'd say, because all that you're getting at that point is just whatever is, like, not even a flying weakness, no, a fire weakness, and what? Fire and bug?
Poison, bug.
Oh, fire, poison, bug.
Ice.
Fuck it. Whatever. Wow, Grass has a lot of weaknesses, goddamn.
Yeah, Grass is a terrible type.
But I still think that Rotomow's really good.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then you've got some more niche picks in there. Tornai as the main Z captain as well, which I think we saw Thomas do either last season or the season beforehand, where Prankster Tornai with Z Bulk Up can be pretty scary, actually.
It could be pretty good.
And then some weird options like Clefairy.
I love it. Eevee like Clefairy. That's not going to work, but I love it.
Well, it's one of those things where Clefairy was a hero to VGC for a long time because it had like a very doubles friendly ability, but I don't know if that's going to come across in singles play.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with this one, man.
And of course, my boy.
I don't think it's going to work.
And of course, my boy Clink Clang, who is great, who is Clink Clang.
Clink Clang.
Who you hit shift gear, you hit gear grind. Hopefully, you aren't like me and you do it directly into a Rocky Helmet Garchomp and lose 40% of your health immediately.
Yikes! I love Clink Clang. I feel like it's a underrated steel type.
For 40 points, too, a pure steel type, which are in short supply because it's just Registeel, Clink Clang, and Mega Aggron, I think, right?
Yeah. Or
like, Silvally or Arceus or whatever, but that's, barely counts. So let's bring it on, continuing here to the joke, Manny, the joke that we all know and love. Not Dale. Dale's not a joke, but his team card.
Maybe. That's the jury's still out.
Remains to be seen. Dale here with Upside Down Haxorus, Corsola Calamity here.
The best joke in the league.
I even put him on plywood, Manny, to represent the plywood board.
Bringing us back to our roots, Joe.
To which we drafted on in Season 3.
Yes. Man. What a time to be alive.
Hax Daddy is the main Z captain as well. He's going to blow shit up. And then you've got Vikavolt in there who, along the very same lines, is going to blow shit up because I believe because Hax is what, 135 attack? Something higher than that? It is. Yeah,
Vikavolt. No, isn't Hax
145, 150?
140, like 148 or something like that. Some weird number.
And Vikavolt with 145 special attack, so both of them gigantic nukes, as it happens.
Yeah. I don't see a Trick Room. Does Jinx get Trick Room?
That's actually Jinx.
I feel like Trick Room would do good on this team with a weird kind of Sand Trick Room option where you can go Trick Room with Vikavolt, Sand with Excadrill, and really keep your opponent on their toes.
Yeah, most Psychic types get Trick Room, so especially a fast Trick Room can be very useful. So Jinx near death, it's just about to die in the face of something where it's 3 times weak to fire because of dry skin. Hit Trick Room, go down, in comes Vigavolt and cleans up everything.
Boom. Let's not give him any ideas. Dale's still on probation.
Not only do you have, did you know that Lycanroc gets Sand Rush too?
Yes, I did. It's such a weird. Why does Lycanroc does get that? But yes, it does.
It doesn't.
Power play.
It does not need Sand Rush because it has 115 speed, so you will be faster than literally everything. Then a fucking Scarf Speed Deoxys you'll probably be faster than, and you got Accelerock once the sand runs out. So
no, but just because. You didn't need to go first anymore.
You didn't really need it, but yeah, you got Gigalith in there to set up the sand. You got Lycanroc and Excadrill. I don't think the team goes too hard into sand like some of the others. I like that you've got Celesteela in there as a mon that is not going to take sand damage while it's up,
right?
And still be the defensive monster that you need it to be. You've got a lot of what I'd consider Joe classics on this team. You've got Pyroar, you've got Jinx as just like special attackers that if you give them a scarf, they're going to blow through something. Chestnut is more your mon. I'm more associated with you, but I consider it a Joe classic, I'd say, even though I've never drafted it.
Why? I'm the guy who popularized Chestnut. All right.
You know what I think it was. I recommended it to Trevor once, and then he barely used it, so that's why I consider it a Joe classic.
Classic Trevor.
We got Prim in there too. There's a lot of good. I think there's a good mix of like hard hitting special attackers and hard hitting physical attackers on this team.
Yeah, I like it. Chestnut's bulky on the defensive side. Primarine is bulky on the special defensive side. No true tanks, which is a bit outside of Celesteela, but depending on the set, Celesteela doesn't always have to be that tanky. Exactly. So like, he has 3 kind of bulky boys that are kind of operate as his sponges almost. So
yeah, you're kind of hoping that
because Rock is an awful defensive typing, so
yeah, you're kind of hoping
Gigalith is just going to rely on bulk because everything's super effective against him.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that Chestnut, Gigalith, Celesteela, and Sableye are going to kind of pick up the slack on the team here, but everything else, it's very much kind of in the Mario camp of win before you lose, I think.
Yeah, with all that speed. Yikes.
Moving on to the end of the Lance division, we've got M1 with Majestic 11 and Volcarona all over. Volcarona rocking everywhere on the right side here.
Was that a Stealth Rock's pun?
No, it was
because it fits too. If Volcarona's there, you got rocks everywhere.
You're gonna have rocks everywhere because we saw again. We're gonna go back to Pokemon. Monotype Madness is a great way to find out Pokemon that you want the next season because Volcarona 100%. And a little bit of luck, of course, got M1 to win Monotype Madness with Bug. So I think that you've got your Spinner and Tentacruel, who is a good option for that. You've got Defog from Braviary. You've got Defog from Rotom. Does Decidueye get Defog? I wouldn't be surprised.
It does. It does.
So you've got a lot of ways to get rid of those hazards, too. So I think Volcarona,
you have to. If you're going to draft Volcarona, you need to draft it. So
I still think that a well-placed Giga Drain from Volcarona can negate the most of the damage that Rocks does anyway. So
right, on a certain mon, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, well-placed. So Tentacruel is actually the main Z captain here. I don't know what kind of fun stuff he's going for there, because Tentacruel
no clue.
Not been used terribly often in the league, I don't think.
No, it just gets outclassed by other bulky water types.
Which is a shame.
Its really only thing is Rapid Spin, really.
I like that it's got Toxic Spikes too. Like it can do a lot of utility things defensively, but
yeah.
Volcarona is your co-captain, so of course it's going to be it's going to have Grassy MZ or something, so it can hit that Bloom Doom, that patented Heatran tier Bloom Doom to get rid of the shit that's standing in the way, the water types, and then your fire and your bug moves for everything else.
Oh, solid team.
And you'd think that
my boy.
Hoopa Unbound?
Yes.
I was going to say, you'd think that we were talking about how scary Volcarona is on offense. Let's look at both Hoopa Unbound and Mega Lopunny here, who we have both had the pleasure of drafting previously. And M1 drafted Mega Lopunny previously, too. So he's well aware of what it can do and what it can't do, which, of course, you and I have both had our complaints, I'd say, in the past about Mega Lopunny.
Yes. I'm like not a scorned lover. What's the word? Like, I realize the faults in Mega Lopunny, but that only makes me want to get hurt by Mega Lopunny again. Like, Mega Lopunny is such a good mon, dude. Like, such a good mon. It's so fast. It has priority. It has, like, fake out, quick attack thing, dumb things happen. Like, good coverage punches, drain punch, high jump kick to blow things up. Like, yeah, its calcs aren't always stellar, but, like, there's not very many mons I want to have going 1v1 at the end of a match.
And we talked before about M1 making odd decisions. I think he learned his lesson for this one, too, and you're always going to have quick attack on Mega Lopunny.
He better.
How about, again, Rotom Wash on this team? Like, recently moved up Rotom Wash. A terror can be, like, again, a great scarf target. Gardevoir, a great scarf target for just punching holes into things. There's a lot of special attacking power on this team.
Yeah, I mean, like, and all you have to really do is use Hoopa, use Lopunny, use Gardevoir, just to dent things, and then get a clean switch into Volcarona, get one QD up, and the game's over.
Yeah, you could forgive that. I mean, he's kind of relying on Bronzong, potentially Rotom, Tentacruel in a way, and bulky-ass Braviary as his defensive people, pretty much.
Right, but, like, Electrode with sneaky screens, like...
Yeah, really fast screens on Electrode could be a vital part of any one of these games.
Right, like, that's a huge... Like, screens are such a huge calc difference, man.
And he's got Lilligant.
Oh, boy.
Lilligant does... It hits Pedal Dance and it doesn't get confused, right? Because of own tempo?
I don't know what Lilligant does, man. I don't know.
Well, let's get into Blue, the final division here. Manny, if you want to take
Blue,
if you want to take the reins real quick, I don't know if I actually have a drink in my room, but I got to take a goddamn drink. So, you see me.
All right, I'm gonna start at the top of the list you gave me here. I'm not gonna go in order. I'm gonna go with Murphy. See the first one?
You're the first one, Manny.
I'm the first one. All right.
That's why I passed it to you, so you could filibuster about your own team.
Oh, good. I'll just filibuster on my own team. Toxic, Soft Boil, Protect, Stalmation. Let's go, boys. You see this. I love it. Yeah, I've cursed Stall for my entirety of my existence, and when I needed to, I was debating what I wanted to do with this upcoming season, and it seems to me that if you want to get into playoffs or have a chance to win the championship, that you need a singular strategy. So my singular strategy was just Stall. But then I locked in Chansey, and then all the Stall things were being taken. I had to piece together a Stall team.
Manny, for fuck's sake. You say that all the Stall things were taking. Look at this team. I know.
So I pieced together as best as I could with the things that I did, like a meta breakdown about Stall. And I kind of identified what Stall's weaknesses were and then how to kind of fight them. And then, so basically, I call this team Stall Support. It's not full Stall to me, I don't think, at least. So,
the big question on my mind, at least, is are you planning on... my first question was going to be, where's the offense? And it's pretty obvious where the offense is, but I think it quickly leads into, is your plan offense?
See, and that's what I wanted to keep people on their toes with. Like, someday, if I'm feeling a little cheeky, I'll bring offense, but I don't always have to bring offense, and that's fine. But, like, I think, I don't know. Like, I just think that that playing defensively, I think that, like, my defensive boys are going to be where it's at. Offense is going to be kind of on my side radar.
I mean, you've got the tandem that won a championship in I shouldn't say, got a tandem that got Kyle to the championship. Bisharp won him the championship, but a tandem in Chansey and Alomomola that is on the best of days nigh unkillable, and on the worst of days you lose.
Yeah, like it's such a great core of Mons that like, man, I was so down on the fish. I'm down on like drafting this team. I didn't feel good about it, Joe, and you know that I didn't feel good about it. I was racking my head around it because like I don't like Stallmon, so like I don't like the fish. So I'm like, oh god, this fish it's not that good. It's not that good. But I was like, fuck it, Kyle did it, lock it in. So I was just going off of what I thought would work. I was picking bulky boys, but then like things with like a Alolan Muck, just like things to get me item diversity, things to kind of help me out, like with certain resistances and giving me a little bit of offense, just a little bit.
Well, I was gonna say you've got mons that aren't entirely defensive, or like have just like one stat that's pretty good, like your Alolan Muck, like your Mudsdale, even your Rotom Fan in a way.
Right. I have just some mons to support Stall with like Klefki. Klefki doesn't blow you off,
No.
with just his stats, but like with his whole kit together, he becomes rather annoying. You would say that he is the Toyota Klefki of the game.
The Toyota, your Klefkis to the game is in fact Klefki.
Exactly.
And I think we can say without any kind of stepping around it that you drafted Floatzel specifically because there's a rain team in your division.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Otherwise,
yes.
I mean, you've got Mega Abomasnow. You can get rid of that weather, and you've got advantage over it.
I could do that, which it's all part of the whole play of like I needed to combat weather, and then I also wanted sand or hail. I wanted one of them because the whole point of this team is chip damage. So why
Exactly.
not just throw one more thing on it and just no one's gonna calc the 8% from hail, right? Is it 8? Is it 6?
It's about that. It negates leftovers, so I think it's 8.
Okay, so like no one's gonna calc that, but like a Toxic Tick, a Spike, Stealth Rocks, and then hail damage. Like add all that shit up. Like that's 30% of damage every time you switch in, and like that's not. And like I said about Stall earlier, like if I'm just going even with you, and you're taking 30% every time you're switching in, like you're losing. Yeah. You're just slowly bleeding it. It's 1,000 cuts.
Death by 1,000 cuts is a good way to look at it, especially when you're slamming those seismic tosses on Chansey too. Because that's the thing. We know at this point you'd think that you got to bring taunt. You got to make sure that you bring taunt against this team. You're smarter than that, Manny. You know that there's like Alomomola is always going to have Scald. Chansey's always going to have seismic toss. Mew is always going to have probably Psychic, or Size Shock or something.
Something.
You're not going to be able to get locked out of your mons. Klefki's always going to have Play Rough. It's not going to hurt, but it's going to have it.
Exactly. I'll let everyone who battles me in a little secret. I seldom bring, I'm going to change that one. I seldom bring 0 attack. I'm a very big proponent of offensive presence. You have to have it. So, just so everyone's aware.
You can't have taunt automatically shut you down. That's the thing.
No, exactly.
Much like how people might balk at why are you wasting a spot getting Armaldo just because it's a rapid spinner? Because you need rapid spin sometimes.
Exactly.
You gotta take what's available. Why are you taking one move when you could bring another utility move? Because I don't want to get taunted. I don't know if my opponent's going to bring it, but I don't want that scenario to play out.
Exactly. I don't want anything to happen. I'm just playing not to lose. And if I do that long enough, I'll win. I don't know. That's just my game plan.
Completely against. You have been. We've mentioned winning before you lose, which has been a lot of teams. Which has been the credo of a lot of teams in this league. You, on a few occasions, have described your own teams as this, and we have spoken out against in plenty of Inside the PFLs. This person, they didn't play to win, they played to not lose, and that's why they lost. And now, how the tables have turned, Manny.
How the turntables, Joe. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I think I did an alright job of putting a little bit of offense and Ditto is gonna be hilarious for me too. So
Oh
I'm excited.
yeah, that. Yeah, I say, where's your offensive presence? There it is. As soon as anybody.
Counter stall. I'm countering
Oh,
stall. No. I'm counter stall.
there
There
you
we go.
go.
That's the order of the word.
Let's get away from this team. Let's go right to Drac with the pup club here.
Where is he? I gotta find him. Hold on.
He's got Mega Gyarados on the side here.
Oh, got him. There he
Yep,
is. Big boy.
the guy here after 9 seasons and being moved down and then moved back up. Drac was fully committed. He told me at the end of last season, I'm taking Mega Gyarados. And then I told him that we're moving him back up again, and he said, I'm still taking Mega Gyarados. So
Good call, dude. He's absolutely frightening. I just have one thing about Drak's team as a whole. And it's just, I don't know, like, his first 3 rounds went great, and then I just don't see the rest of the rounds.
I mean, there are the first 3 rounds, of course, being Mega Gyarados, Zapdos, and then Nidoking, who
Right.
are scary, very scary altogether. Terrors. I would say the rest of these, now Drac has only been in the league, this is his second season. The rest of these mons, 3 of these mons can be considered Drac classics in my mind. Durant,
Yeah.
Comfey, and arguably it was supposed to be Licky Licky, but it got taken, so he had to get Lickitung. 3 mons that 2.5 mons that he had last season that he used very well. We moved Comfey back up because he used it so well. Durant was his cozy captain last season as well, I think. And he is kind of just playing the hits again, playing the mons, which I think you should do mons that you know are good or know that you can use as well.
And, like, there's mons that always end up on my team. Always. Whether it be, like, a Tier 5 Electric, one of them. Girder, like, you know. So we all have those mons. So hopefully he can, like, put all of the utility of the rest of his team, like, together. Just not as... maybe it's just that he started out the draft with, like, 3 slammers. Yeah. And then, like, just, it's one of those things, and, like it's not the sexiest pick, like Comfey. Like, Comfey's not the sexiest pick in the world, right? But, like, Comfey will get the job done. Like, Comfey's a great mod.
That's how I feel about Mienshao, I think. I feel like, again, I would take almost any fighting type in Tier 4 over Mienshao, who is 40 points more expensive. And
I love Regenerator on Mienshao, so I'm with Jack on Mienshao. Like, I like the picks. I love Yuxi. I love Mienshao. I love Comfey.
Yuxi is as well. That's a Pokemon that I believe you took first, and then you turned me onto Yuxi, who is a great defensive mon. You get Levitate in there. Good stealth rocker. Sneaky fast.
Yeah.
It's like
Future Sight.
I'm not a big fan of psychic types as, like, purely defensive most of the time, but I think Yuxi works it well.
It does enough with its, like, utility with, like, taunt and, like, rocks, and, like, it's not completely blown out of the water. It has offensive presence. Like, it's a solid mod. I was gunning for Yuxi, and then when Drac took it, I had to change my plan and go Mew. So
you've got Masquerain in there as well, which I believe is the first time that Masquerain has ever been taken. Which, again, we've found that sticky web. We're slowly but surely, more and more people are getting turned on to things like it's starting with, we were saying back in, like, season 4 or 5, like, oh, nobody uses stealth rocks. Everybody's way too busy, like, trying to
clicking attacks.
Yeah, trying to just hit other people. Now hazards are pretty common, and now we're getting into sticky webs are getting pretty common, and soon enough it's going to be, screens are good, soon enough it's going to be boosting is good, like
substitute.
Slowly but surely we're getting there, and I think that's why you see Pokemon like Ariados and Masquerain and Leavanny getting taken.
Masquerain, sneaky intimidate user, just so you know.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can...
So, like, if you save Masquerain for, like if you web and then sash Masquerain, whatever, you can just take Masquerain, save it for later, and then just throw it in, intimidate, die, and then now you're ready to go with Mega Gyarados to get behind a substitute. Like, it's a really good mod.
Exactly. And we didn't talk about as well Z-Captain Silvally, who, again, you use for the Z parting shot, which I feel like not necessarily gimps Silvally in a way, because you can still use the other types of Silvally, but it's one of those things where if it comes in and it's a normal type, you kind of know that Silvally is going to be using Z parting shot.
Yeah, I just I think Savali's strength is the typing switches. That's the only reason it's in tier 2. I just don't see. There's seldom time where a Z move is considered the bad item, but I just don't. I feel like it could have been used better on another mod. Is all I'm saying.
Well, I'm looking here because I was gonna say could be Nidoking, and I think like, oh, do you really want to take the life orb away from Nidoking? Uh, Not a lot. I mean, like you got Mega Gyarados as your big attacker, but it's your Mega.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. But like,
Uh,
I feel like Savali. The point of Savali is to be all those different forms, and by pigeonholing it into a, you don't have to pigeonhole it because there's 2 Z captains, but I feel like you're taking something away from it.
but I feel like it's also like, if you see that Silvally has a type and Durant is also there, then you kind of can assume that Durant has the Z Crystal, and then you only need to figure out
Right.
the items on 4 of the other mons. So,
Exactly.
so that's where it can get a little choppy. Next we got Lebo, right on this dick. Going with this is where you had a few complaints about Lebo's team because he went a little too hard into the rain, I believe, Manny. He's got Mega Swampert on the side there. He is telling you front and center, this is what my team is, and his picks do kind of. I mean, when I look at it here, he didn't do much more than, say, Mitch did, I guess. Because he's only got, again, Mitch got 3 Swift Swimmers and Lebo has 2, so.
True. um, he did do a good job of drafting mons that function into rain. Like Noivern is a really great rain user. Hurricanes don't miss now.
I was gonna say if you had any kind of complaint, be that more focus is being put on Noivern. When if there's no rain, those hurricanes just stop becoming or like are less of a factor. I would say, not that they don't become a factor,
Right.
but
Right. When I'm looking at his team, I think that rain. Like if I look at like someone who drafted a smaller rain core, like they don't need to bring the rain. I feel like if this team wants to operate on 100% success rate, it needs to be in the rain.
I feel like because there are mons that are like Swift Swim mons that can operate outside of the rain, but I feel like Kingdra's 120 points specifically because of Swift Swim. Mega Swamp's 160 points specifically because of Swift Swim. Just because without that there, like Sniper Kingdra has been tried, and at least the past 3 or 4 tried it once when I had it, didn't work out very well. Gage had Kingdra, I believe, and used Sniper and it didn't work out. Dan tried Sniper Kingdra, I think, or Dave did, somebody did, and it just didn't really work out. Maybe
it just feels like rain is the core of the team, and I'm not knocking that because, like I said earlier, like in this day and age of our league, I think you need a centralized theme or a very good underrated core or like something sneaky like that to like you need a centralized strategy. And so being a rain team, I can guarantee you, just by being solely focused on being a rain team, I guarantee you he'll win multiple games.
Certainly.
And have a chance to contend playoffs because rain is so easy to play. So I'm not rocking the team. I'm just saying that I just think that when I look at other teams, I think weather is not as important to their teams as this team. This team seems like weather is the thing.
Well, I mean, you've got Magirna in there, and you've got like Fortress, who both benefit from rain being up because it kind of limits the weaknesses or how much fire does to them. Other than that, I mean, Electros is great, and it's one of my favorites. It doesn't really function any better in rain unless you give it Thunder or something. A mon like Stunfisk is technically worse in rain because then it exacerbates one of its weaknesses.
Hey, Stunfisk is the best. All right, leave him alone. That was a great pick.
I think Stunfisk is great. I'm not one to poo-poo anybody's pick.
I just want to know what is happening with Hawlucha.
I mean, Hawlucha has classically been you pick it with Coco and it's going to do the OU thing, and that's how you run it. Here, I mean, Hawlucha without, I think that the +1 defense is good. It's definitely good. I used Hawlucha and Monotype Madness on the flying team a few times, and all you need to do is just get one opportunity to hit Swords Dance. And I mean,
but how do you get rid of your item, though, if you're not paired up with...
Flying Gem Acrobatics is a popular one, as well as...
Oh, you're right. That is such a good one.
As well as Power Herb Sky Attack.
Oh, yes! Yes! I hope he does that against me week 1. I just want to be there for that.
That was my trump card in Monotype Madness against Rob's team, Power Herb Sky Attack.
Doesn't your mon have to be... The opponent's mon have to be below a certain weight or something for Sky Attack to work?
No. You're thinking of
Sky Drop.
Sky Drop. Yeah. Sky Attack is one of those weird 2-turn Gen 1 moves like Skull Bash.
I love it. I'm going to run Power Herb Skull Bash.
That's what me and Mario talked about that for like a Hitmonlee set like 2 years ago.
Power Herb Skull Bash.
Power Herb Skull Bash. I liked what happened last season with Dan, where you're using White Herb Curse.
Yeah, White Herb Curse. That was brilliant, man. Shit.
But I think that we didn't really talk about Magearna. It's going to be... Because I think actually it might be a bit of fool's gold, because you've got all these rain elements. You kind of forget that Magearna is there.
No, I didn't forget, Joe.
Oh, I mean, you didn't, but who knows?
Magearna is a borderline. Sometimes
I mean, the first season that it was available, I grabbed it, I think either like the second or third pick, and I was not amazingly impressed. But
I was not amazingly impressed
that's
with
right,
it either when I drafted it.
Yeah, you did have it too.
Which is the only reason we kept it in league, because we were both, and I trust your opinion on things, and we were both like, yeah, sure.
Magearna's fine, but I mean, when you know that it's coming, it's easy to kind of prepare for it, I guess.
Right.
And it's got 2 very common weaknesses.
True. Very true. Which one is negated in the rain?
Not negated necessarily, just, makes it...
It becomes a neutral hit, right?
Thick fat, basically, yeah. So
a neutral hit.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's finish this off with Murphy here. Pierce the Glalie. He's got his guy... Murphy is playing the hits with his team this season. He started off number 1 draft pick Togekiss, going back to season 7, I believe, where Togekiss and Mega Gallade got him to... The only thing that prevented Murphy from potentially winning the entire season was a Assault Vest Tyranitar, of course. Special Assault Vest Tyranitar, excuse me.
Yes, the play, Joe.
But you look at he's also got Quagsire in there. Quagsire and Togekiss and Mega Gallade, all 3 together from his Season 7 team, which are a nightmare to try and deal with. Especially if you've got, say, Alolan Exeggutor, who is 4 times resistant of grass, is just basically a free in anytime Quagsire gets threatened.
Alolan Exeggutor is a problem. I loved having him in Monotype Madness. He harvests Citrus Berry with Leech Seed, and you just sit there and you'd be dumb.
Actually, you look at a lot of these. Scizor, 4 times resist grass. Altaria, 4 times resist grass.
Yeah, but then he did a good job of separating his things, because he has 4 times grass, 4 times fire, 4 times ice, so you can't stack on him. It's good.
Yes. So, I agree that's... you got P2 in there for more... do you defense on this team and you add fucking Porygon 2? Are you shitting me? Like, come on.
Yeah, everyone just went bulky this season, man. Except for Mario.
You've also got, in order to help with the fire, too, you got Chandelure with Flash Fire in there. That's always a fun option.
Yeah, Regirock doesn't care about fire types.
No, it doesn't.
Regirock doesn't give a shit about anything.
You got Prankster Liepard in there to, do the things like the screens. If you wanted to do something like set up weather, you can. My sweet dual weather setter Liepard sets. Going all the way back to season 4, I think that was.
4.
What the fuck was I thinking?
Innovation, Joe.
That's true. I tried it out.
We were on the forefront, man.
So other people could perfect it. Yes.
Right. 3 Doge Moon. We were on the forefront, man. Don't ever forget that.
All right, we've got Nidoqueen here as well as the main captain, I believe. Yeah, because
Love it.
You drafted Nidoqueen once. I'm a really big fan of Nidoqueen. It's
Love it.
basically it can sit there a bit more than Nidoking. It's not going to do as much damage, but it can eat more hits, and that's why I love it.
You can build full defense on Nidoqueen and just stack that life orb and be perfectly fine offensively.
Yeah, because Sheer Force
like to break through things.
Sheer Force helps with attack. It's why again we kind of glossed over it on M1's team. We've got Braviary get Sheer Force, so you just put everything in HP and defense, and then you let Sheer Force help out with your Air Slashers or your Brave Birds or whatever.
Exactly. You don't have to go balls to the wall offense with Sheer Force. You can pad the stats and then go Sheer Force to make sure that you're not lacking any offense.
Yeah, I think that Brave Bird is not affected by Sheer Force, but either way. Your Air Slashes then to prevent those.
Yeah, there. The Air Slash Braviary.
Oh baby.
We've seen crazier things, Joe. We've seen Shadow Claw Latias.
There are legendary sets out there. We have seen the Shadow Claw, the banded Shadow Claw Latiases. We have seen the special attacking Assault Vest Tyrannotars. They are out there.
Exactly, man. The sets are out there. You just gotta dig through the shit to find them.
And you also have to be successful because...
Yeah, then you just get laughed at.
Yeah, because that's... I mean, I thought the first time that I faced Murphy with Weakness Policy Tyranitar, I was cool as a cucumber. But no, it failed horribly, and I got shit on.
Exactly. Only if you do... So...
Well, I think then that's where we should wrap it up because it's been an hour and 50 minutes, as these things tend to be, because we don't
preseason.
We don't understand the meaning of brevity. And also people are yelling.
Y'all act like you guys aren't going to listen to every minute of this.
They won't.
They won't. It's fine. We're going to put this shit on Twitter. Do we have a Twitter yet?
I'm not going to get a Twitter until I get the logo from Rob, which I think that as we were recording this, he told me that he sent me everything except for Thomas's logo. So, crossing my fingers that we have a PFL logo and I could fucking post the team cards and everything with the proper shit and everything. Damn it. All right, we're going. Goodbye.